Here's a Japanese sandman sneaking on with a mule. Just an old second-hand man. He'll buy your old days from you. He will take every.
Hello everybody, welcome to the JT Forum Podcast. Today is April 10th, and you're listening to episode number 6 with your host Reisender. And I know we had something a little bit different planned for the 6th episode. I told you that there would be a different host. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me. Things happened. The earthquake happened, and that kind of put things on hold. That kind of put a lot of things on hold, and I'm making a point of not getting into that topic during this podcast, because we are going to have a special podcast hosted by Blitzpick, and he's now accepting contributions for this podcast. So if you have any stories, whether you are in Japan or not in Japan, if you have any stories that you'd like to share about the earthquake and your reactions to it, please submit something to Blitzpick, and he's going to make a compilation. We should hear that pretty soon, so look forward to that. In the meantime, I was looking for some content for this podcast, and I came across an article on Yahoo. Now, Yahoo is my homepage, and I'm finding it's more and more like a tabloid. The news on there is really quite crappy sometimes, and maybe somebody out there has a recommendation for me. Of what a good homepage might be, or something that gives me actual news. Let me know what you think. But I got this article, and it's called 10 Japanese Customs You Must Know Before Going in Japan. I'm not sure where we are going in Japan, but that's the article. This is by a woman named Andra Pikinsu, it looks like. That's her name. This was from May 2009. Here are 10 Japanese customs that you should know before going on a holiday in Japan. If you know these habits, you can understand more quick the lifestyle of citizens. So you're going to notice a lot of extremely poor English in this article. Let's start off with number 1, the respect for others. The respect is implemented in children's behavior from the first years of school. For tourists, a simple inclination of the head or a bending the body with a hand on the waist is usually enough. Now, I assume she's talking about bowing and not pretending she's a little teacup. Number 2, manners at dinner. You'll receive in any restaurant a small piece of wet material. Use it to clean your hands before eating, and then place it next to the table. Don't use it as a napkin or to clean your face. So thanks very much for teaching us how to use a wet nap. Be sure to place it next to the table, on the floor. Number 3, no tips. The idea of a tip is not accepted in any situation in Japan. To leave someone a tip is almost an insult. Really? Interesting. Number 4, the sticks. The sticks. I think she's talking about chopsticks. Don't be afraid. Everybody knows that just they can use them properly. So everybody knows that only Japanese can use chopsticks properly. Number 5, the slippers. Take off your shoes every time when you get in someone's house or in the hotel. A person will stay at the door and will take your shoes, and nearby you will find some slippers. Many Japanese use to bring their slippers. Really? People bring their own slippers to other people's houses. Okay. Number 6, the masks. Sometimes ill people wear them in order not to infest the subway neighbor. So I think infest is supposed to be infect. Yeah, so if you have a cold and sneeze, you might need one. This is something that we must know before going to Japan. Number 7, the obedience. Don't try to go out on the street alone, to eat alone, or to speak loud at the phone in public places. The Japanese culture is based on groups only, not on individual. You'll draw attention, and you'll probably be asked for autographs and pictures because only the celebrities are usually seen alone there. Strange but true. True because you heard it from her. Number 8, having a bath. Try to find some free time to visit a sento if you get a chance. There are places without barriers, places where no one is criticized by color, language, or age. In fact, there are separate rooms for men and women. So they actually are criticized by, They actually are separated by sex. And often criticized actually for tattoos and sometimes whether or not you're Japanese. So yeah, no barriers there. Number 9, the English language. The Japanese will think you are a native speaker of English. A group of children on the street will welcome you with hello, 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 or more accurately, haro, haro, haro. A certain person will come to you and will ask, where are you from? Are the Japanese friendly? They sure are. Yeah, that's what I want from a friendly person. People running up to me and screaming haro, 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 and asking about my personal details. If you will want to talk in Japanese, which is more or less good, some will insist rather to speak English. And if you speak well in Japanese, you might be surprised when they will ask you to speak in English. Very polite. Number 10, the safety. Everybody will tell you to take care of everything that's yours during the visit to Japan, but it is very unlikely for Japanese to steal something. The Japanese are afraid of something else. The fear of crime is very high. So there's no crime in Japan, and Japanese people don't steal. And they're afraid of other things. This is very good advice. Now, Andra, our author, says she's a freelance writer, copywriter, with a background in marketing and psychology. After working for 3 years for well-established companies, I have developed excellent editing, researching, and writing skills that are needed in most projects. I have undertaken literally hundreds of varied projects. I am accustomed to the intricacies that are involved in conducting good research. Let's see this research. Our sources. If I click on the first source, I get japanguide.com. Japanese shaving habits. And here's the post. Hi, it could seem really stupid what I'm gonna say, but for me it's something serious. 2 years ago I had a Japanese girlfriend, and I felt very well with her. I noticed that she didn't shave her pubic hair, blah, 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 blah. This is her source. Thanks very much, Andra Bikinsu, for your wonderful insights.
まもなくこのホームに大阪行きが入ります。危険ですからホームの内側へお下がりください。
Our guest today is another member from the wonderful 2004 Awesomeness Gang. A member finally with an XX chromosome. Here we are with Bree-chan. Welcome, Bree-chan.
Hi.
Hi. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Where have you been hiding?
Around. I've been around. Yeah.
It's good to finally hear you.
Likewise.
Now you've been an awesome member since 2004.
Awesome.
Yeah. What brought you on to the forum in 2004?
I think I was starting to do the research for moving to Japan.
Okay. You went to Japan on an exchange or something? Was that right?
I did go on an exchange to Japan. But that was when I was still in school,
Yeah.
and that was long before JT. And then when I was in university, I was planning to move there afterwards, so that's
That's exactly
probably
the same as me.
yeah.
Huh. So after 2004, you went to Japan?
Yes, 2006
2006.
when
So
I made the move.
so where did you live there?
I lived in rural Gunma-ken.
Oh, wow.
Yes, up in the mountains
Wow, I forgot
amongst the
about that.
cabbage.
What? With lots of
Amongst the
cabbage?
cabbage.
Nice. So Gunma, what is there to do in Gunma?
Well, I was actually pretty lucky in that there was a ski resort,
Yeah.
actually a multitude of ski resorts nearby, so I could hone in my snowboarding skills.
Were you learning at that point?
No, I'd
'Cause-
done a bit of it in Western Canada.
Okay.
Not a lot, but yeah.
Because you're from kind of central Canada, right?
I'm a prairie girl.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just wondering, how did you get into snowboarding being a prairie girl?
I was a wannabe in high school. There's, this whole snowboarder subculture starting to grow, and I thought, oh man, that's really cool. I want to be like a snowboarder. It's gonna be awesome. And so I just had to try it. And but getting back to what you were asking about what there's to do in Gunma,
Yeah.
there's also something called canyoning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
there's a
done that.
really great canyoning outfit out there, and you can go caving, canyoning, rafting, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, it is rural and it is can be kind of boring, but there's also some really cool things to do, and I became pretty involved in my community as well. So,
So did everybody know who the white chick was?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
everyone knew who I was. Yeah.
Were you the gossip in the local newspaper every week? It was all about you.
Uh, I wouldn't say I was in the gossip in the local newsletter, but they
Mhm.
did ask me to write some articles from time to time.
Wow. In
Yeah.
English?
No, no, in Japanese.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah.
Um, Guma also is big for hot springs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. There was lots of hot springs around, and I just loved going to them, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
My house, I had a house that I was renting, and it was so cold, which sounds silly coming from a Canadian who's used to minus 30
Right.
degrees. But I'm also used to a cushy, insulated, centrally heated home. So
Yes.
it was quite the shock.
Yeah, that a lot of people fail to realize that. Like us
Hmm.
Canadians, outside we can handle it. Inside, it must
No.
be warm.
Yeah, I like to wear a short sleeve t-shirt in the winter,
Yeah, me too.
you know? So
There you go.
yeah, so the hot springs were great in the winter and beautiful with the snow all around and good times with friends, drinking, onsen. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember before I went to Japan that so there was a recruiter from Gunma who tried to get me to go there, and it sounded all great and stuff, but too countryside, I think.
Yeah,
Were you there? How long were you there?
2 years.
Wow. So
Yeah.
did that didn't drive you crazy?
I spent a lot of time going to Tokyo.
Okay.
The whole 3.5 hour train ride.
So that was your escape.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I was at the time I was dating a guy who lived in Tokyo as well. So,
Did he ever go to Gunma, Ken?
oh yeah, he
Oh,
loved it up there, the skiing and all the kind of things that I'd get up to with my friends and
so you're
events.
a kind of outdoorsy person?
Kinda.
Hmm.
But I love going to the city and going shopping and eating in restaurants and going to cafes. Like I love that kind of thing too. But
Is that
I like
doable in Gunma? Well,
uh
you said you were in the countryside of Gunma,
yeah,
which is like the countryside of the countryside.
yeah, like rice patties and the whole bit.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, but you know
Yeah.
what? Had I been in a big city, I wouldn't have had the experience that I had. So, when you weigh the pros and cons, I'm really lucky the way that it turned out and the relationships that I made and the difference that I made in the community. So,